Good morning, church family. Happy Tuesday morning to you. I want to share a quick Tuesday morning truth I hope will be a help and blessing to you today, whatever you're doing on this sunny Tuesday morning. I began the book of Ezekiel today in my personal reading, and I want to just read one verse to you from Ezekiel chapter 1, and this is verse number 3. The Bible says, "The word of the Lord came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzi, in the land of the Chaldeans by the river Chebar, and the hand of the Lord was there upon him." I want to point out the name Ezekiel there. His name is mentioned twice in this book. And I think you know this, that in Bible times, names were not chosen based on how they sounded, but based on what they meant. And Ezekiel's name has a very strong meaning. It means God strengthens or strengthened of the Lord. And I was thinking about that name and how significant that is for each of us as we think about just how much we need the Lord, how much we need His strength on a daily basis. I'm reminded almost every day as I age, and I'm not old, I guess, compared to some. Compared to others, I maybe am very old. But I'm reminded of my personal limitations when it comes to strength, that I need to rely on God's strength daily. And in this verse, the Bible says that Ezekiel was there with the captives by this river Chebar. Now, this was a very difficult time, maybe the most difficult time in the history of the nation of Israel. They are captives in Babylon. They're going to be captives for 70 years. And Ezekiel is one of those captives or exiles. And so he's there with them. And it's just a tough time. God tells him, "Ezekiel, I want you to go. You have a difficult message. Most of the people are not going to receive your message. But I just want you to be faithful and declare the truth even during these dark times." And so it's a very challenging ministry that God had called Ezekiel to, but He guaranteed him that He was going to strengthen him for this ministry. I heard it said before that God's calling always comes with God's enabling. So if God has called you to be a spouse, God will enable you to be the best spouse you can be. God's called you to be a parent. God will enable you to be the best parent you can be. Whatever calling you have, God will also give you the enabling to complete that calling. And that was true here with Ezekiel. And the phrase at the end of the verse really stood out and encouraged me this morning, where it says, "The hand of the Lord was there upon him." And that phrase will be used quite a few times in this book, about God's hand being on His prophet and helping him to do things that otherwise he could not do on his own. I was reminded of something that happened years ago when my kids were younger, and they were just starting to learn how to ride a bicycle. And you remember how that is. You start with training wheels, and then you start to take the training wheels off, and then you as parents, you have one on this side, one on this side, and you're kind of letting them experience a little bit of freedom, but you're close enough you can catch them if they fall. And I remember just putting my hand on the back of the seat and guiding my kids, and then I'd let go of my hand, and then I'd put my hand back on. And it reminds me of how God's hand is upon us. Sometimes we don't even realize it, but God's hand is there strengthening us. This morning, I got into work a little bit later, and the reason being is Sheila and I decided we do our Tuesday run. We run on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We decided that it might be wise to do it early, knowing that this afternoon I think it's supposed to reach about 92 degrees, and so we thought it'd be best to run early. It's a little bit cooler. It's actually just a beautiful morning, about 65 or so as we were running. And there was nothing in me that wanted to do that run this morning, nothing. But I began to meditate on Ezekiel's name, and God strengthens us. And it's an amazing thing how God just strengthens us mentally and physically. And we prayed before and we thank God afterward. I think that's important. We need God's strength in everything we do. And the Lord can give us an unusual strength to accomplish what He's called us to do. And in a sense, we feel His hand guiding us and helping us and bringing us through difficulties. And so I'm not sure what you're facing, what you're maybe wrestling with today, what you're struggling with, but I know that the Lord gives us strength. And He strengthened His prophet here. He'll strengthen you. Whatever He's called you to do, whatever He has led you to do, He will give you the enabling that you need to complete it. And whether it's a mental thing or it's a physical thing, but I'm just glad that we serve a God that strengthens. The God of Ezekiel is the God of us as well. And so I'm encouraged by that. So go in the Lord's strength today and accomplish His will. We're praying for you. We love you. Have a wonderful Tuesday. We'll see you soon.